All rise. We will be. Please be seated. Veuillez vous asseoir.
Mr. KenyaMOJA, we will continue. I see that my watch says 2:31. The one on the computer says 2:33. But then I'm sure we can move on. You've got 5 minutes. That's what this is headed to.
Mr. Witness, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, you confirm, could you tell the court what is the ethnicity of the two people you had being interviewed by Mr. Sang? We start with Joseph Kakudi.
He is a Kikuyu, Your Honor.
And the second one?
He is a Kikuyu, Your Honor.
And who is the second one?
Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, you will confirm that Mr. Sang was seeking that there be harmony and coexistence in Kenya between all tribes, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, did you listen to that particular audio?
I didn't listen to it, Your Honor.
Mr. President, I would pray that that audio and its translation be marked for identification. The audio is Ken D11 0011 0030, and the translation is Ken D11 0012 0204.
They will be marked for identification.
Mr. President, that's all I had for this witness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. KenyaMOJA.
The audio Ken D11 0011 0030 will bear the following number: MFI T D11 00034. The translation Ken D11 0012 0204 will bear the following number: MFI T D11 00035.
Thank you very much. Witness Mr. KenyaMOJA has finished asking you questions. It will next be the turn of Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan, it will be you, right? Yes. Mr. Khan, to ask your questions.
And the interviewer said, to refresh your memory, you mean? You said, yeah. The interviewer, so you remember? You said, yeah. The interviewer said, yes, of course. The other interviewee, you said, okay. The other interviewer said, of course. And then you said, okay, that was my question. That's what took place, isn't it, during that interview?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was before you started giving the meat of your account during the interview on that particular day. Is that right?
No, Your Honor. I asked the question after we finished. I had finished my interview, Your Honor.
But that was, you said that at the beginning of the interview that day. Is that right?
Your Honor, I asked after I had given my testimony to the prosecution on that day, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, defense counsel could just repeat the number of the ERN of the transcript. I understand
Yes,
that
of
you
course.
mentioned 0435, but we don't have a 0435. Is that the page number or the transcript number?
It's Ken OTP 0081 0435. It's page 12 of that transcript. And it's, I won't give the month, but it's the date is the 8th.
So it's transcript 00810423. Is that correct? So it's the first page.
Yes, that's the first page.
All
That's
right.
the parent number.
That's what I needed. Thank you.
So, witness, you remember saying that, don't you?
I remember, Your Honor, but it was on the last day.
And you're clear, it's the last day of the interview?
I remember asking it on the last day, Your Honor.
Witness, we'll move on from that, and on the 6th and 7th and 8th of January, you spent almost the whole day reading your transcripts, didn't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's January of this year.
Yes, Your Honor.
Indeed, witness, we've been told by the prosecution that between noon and 5:33 p.m. on the 6th, you were busy with your transcripts. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the next day, witness, on the 7th of January, between 9:30 a.m. and 5:37 p.m., again you were busy reading your transcripts. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the next day, once again, the 8th of January, between 9:34 in the morning until 4:43 in the afternoon, you were busy reading the transcripts.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then on the 9th and the 10th, you sat with the prosecution, didn't you?
I did, Your Honor.
And I think on the 9th, you spent, excluding breaks, excluding all the breaks, you spent about 5.5 hours with the prosecution, didn't you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then on the 10th of January, you spent an hour and a half going over your evidence and answering questions that the prosecution had. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Witness, you were informed by the prosecution and the victim and witness unit that your testimony was originally scheduled to start in this session on the 15th of January. You knew that, didn't you? You'd been told that originally it was expected that you would start on the 15th.
It was 16th of January, Your Honor.
On the 13th of January, after all these hours and days spending reading with the transcripts, you called once again. You contacted the victim and witness unit, and you said you wanted to read the transcripts one further time, didn't you?
I did, Your Honor.
Those transcripts were given to you, weren't they?
I was given, Your Honor.
And on the 14th of January, you read those transcripts for the day. Is that right?
Half day, Your Honor.
Witness, I don't want you to misunderstand me from the beginning. I'm putting it to you that the reason from the beginning, within 24 minutes of the interview that commenced on the 8th that I read out, that's 24 minutes into the interview, the reason you expressed such interest in getting access to your transcripts was because you're trying to remember a false story rather than recall truthfully an event that took place. Do you understand me?
I understand you, Your Honor.
And isn't that the case, witness?
It is not true, Your Honor.
I'm grateful. I'll move on to another topic. Witness, yesterday you were saying, giving evidence regarding ceremonies and kingship, the Kalenjin community, and you spoke about Koitalel Arab Samoy. Do you remember that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Koitalel Arap Samoei, of course, is a legendary figure in Kenya. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Something all school children learn about in secondary school. Isn't that right?
Yes, Your Honor, even in primary school, Your Honor.
And did you study about Koitalel Arap Samoei in secondary school?
In primary school, Your Honor.
Now, you said, and it's page 12 of the transcript of yesterday, line 8 to 12, that there was a belief in the Kalenjin community that calamity would occur to that community because Koitalel had been killed by fellow Kalenjins. Do you remember talking about that?
I remember, Your Honor.
And you described him as the last king of the Kalenjin, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you aware that it's very known in Kenya that Koitalel Arap Samoei was in fact cruelly beheaded by a British Army officer, Colonel Richard Meinerzhagen? That's Meinerzhagen. Had you heard about that?
I am aware, Your Honor.
In fact, so brutal a killing was it that in fact his head was sent by this army officer to London so it could be examined as to why he was such a good military strategist. Are you aware of that?
I am aware, Your Honor.
And in fact, he was with a group of Kalenjin, and he was attending what he had been told by the British was a peace meeting, a peace pact meeting with Colonel Richard Meinerzhagen. And under cover of that meeting, he was brought and then executed. You're aware of that?
I am aware, Your Honor.
And he'd been told by his Kalenjin men that when he met the British, not to shake their hands, because if he shook the hand, it would identify him as the leader. Are you aware of that?
I am aware, Your Honor.
He was not, as you say, the last king of the Kalenjin, was he?
He was, Your Honor.
In fact, Mr. Witness, he wasn't even a king at all, was he?
He was a king, Your Honor.
Executed by the British in 1905, he was in fact the first freedom fighter in Kenya against colonial oppression. Isn't that right?
It is right, Your Honor.
It's false, isn't it, Witness, given what you've said, that he was killed by the Kalenjin? He was killed by the British, wasn't he?
Your Honor, the Kalenjins believed that Koitalel Samoei was killed by Kalenjins because they were the one who were the traitors, they believed that fellow Kalenjins were the ones who were traitors to the British government against Koitalel Samoei, Your Honor.
Your Honour, I think, unfortunately, I wanted to do a little bit in public session at least, but I think at this point I would have to go into a private session.
Private session. For how long?
Your Honour, in all likelihood, for the rest of the day.
A private session, then.
Your Honour, I may seek to come out 5 minutes before the end with your leave, and maybe ask a question that will summarise in a redacted form any evidence that's elicited that may be useful.